Hey guys, and welcome back to Create Above and Beyond. We're looking very shiny today, aren't we? So, last episode was our first Create livestream. Thank you so much if you were able to tune into that. And we now have an entrance to this base. Still unfinished, so still some development work to do. But check this out. Oh yeah! I don't know why I find that so cool, but this is awesome. Like, we actually have a door now. And we can control it just with this linked controller. You can close this behind us, and we are safe. Kind of. So yeah, we put an entrance on our base, and we managed to clear out a bit more of this place with the help of the thermal flux bore. This thing actually goes up to 9x9 mining, which is really powerful. I know you guys have been commenting on that for quite a while, and we finally got around to that thing. Right at the end of the stream, we also looked into some of these body cards, which is where all the armor came from. This is the body steel set, and I believe this thing is upgradable once we have better cards and whatnot. But I was actually able to finish off the end set, which gives us a permanent resistance bonus, the nether set, which gives permanent fire resistance, and we also get the base set medal, which gives us a permanent speed buff. This is very, very handy for getting around the base. As you may have noticed, I also did update our farm, and I think we now are running 8 layers of this, 8 layers of sweet berries. And I also rewired the trade stations back here to trade for silver coins. And we have a very healthy 8,000 silver coins. I decided to go with the numismatic dynamos to burn the silver coins for RF, since it would be easier than transporting lava over here. And then I did also rewire this once again. I think this is the 4th rebuild of these trade stations, but they all now automatically get silver coins. We're also producing gold coins to be able to trade for emeralds and diamonds. We finished off last episode by automating lava, which we're going to use today. And the goal for this episode is to finish off chapter 2. And unlock our zinc machines. So this, as always, is going to start with some more digging. We're going to need a lot of space today. But yeah, as you can see, the flux bore makes quick work of this. It's very destructive though, we have to be careful with what we're doing here. So the first step in this process to finish off our chapter 2 here is to automate twisting vines and weeping vines is the word I'm looking for. So the quests on these things say one grows up and one grows down, so I think we're going to combine this into one farm, and I'll explain later on why exactly we need these. So first we have to fill all of this with netherrack. So I haven't actually tested this, but the plan is to have some harvesters on this level and also on this level, and then somehow we spin this round in a circle and collect all the drops. But yeah, we're out of netherrack, so let's put our flux bore to work here. That should be plenty of netherrack. Okay, so obviously we'll need some way to generate some rotational energy, and I'm thinking for this that we actually use a windmill. The only condition for the windmill to spin, I believe, is to have 8 white sails at least attached to this thing. It really only has to be enough for it to power the mechanical harvesters. Then we can put our sails in the middle, I think. We may as well fill the space, it'll make it faster. And if we turn on the bearing, it spins, okay. But we forgot the glue. We have to put some super glue on these radio chassis. Aha, now we're spinning. Alright, awesome. It looks like it did drop them on the floor though. Oh, you know what it was actually? We forgot somewhere for these things to be stored. Yeah, of course, we need a storage item on this contraption somewhere. And I think we can just stick it right on top here. As long as it's part of all the same contraption. Aha, now we're getting twisting vines. Awesome. Okay, so now we just have to get enough to fill out this whole field. So the whole reason we need both of these vines is in order to make liquid soul. And we have to do this process in a mechanical mixer, along with this blaze burner. So while we're waiting on this thing farming up some more so we can fill out the field, we are going to need to actually get our blaze burner so we can craft an empty one very easily just with some iron. But to fill up our blaze burner, we're going to have to right click a blaze or a blaze spawner. And I don't believe we've actually found a fortress yet in the nether. Ah, looks like there's one over there. Oh, that's quite far actually. You know what, let's actually dig out a path towards this thing, so that we can easily get back there in the future. Oh no. The first few blocks are lava, of course. Oh nice, some cobalt. We actually need some of this. How brave are we feeling today? I don't hear any ghasts, so I mean, I think we're good. Okay, the nether fortress should be right above us here. Now we just need a blaze. Thank you. We're gonna grab a few of these, we might as well. And that should have given us our blaze burner? Yes it did, awesome. Okay, so once the vines are now being buffered in this drawer, we then want to input these into a basin. And the output is going to be a fluid tank. You guys said that you could actually hook up this directly onto the basin. I want to see if this actually works. So the blaze burner has to go underneath the basin to heat it up. And I think we can just extract from the drawer, so long as we have this belt moving. Forgot the most important part here on the top. We actually need the mixer on this thing. Okay, is this doing anything? I'm not sure that it is actually. Oh, this blaze burner actually takes fuel to run. Oh, this complicates things further then. Although, hold on. Can we give this thing lava? Oh, this is... Oh, okay. Awesome, okay. Yeah, and we're getting our liquid soul out here. Okay, there is also the issue here I just realised of this only giving it one type of vine or the other. So we'll have to have some way of splitting these vines up. And then also some way to feed the buckets of lava to this thing. And then also return the buckets of lava for them to be filled back in the nether portal. Oh man, it actually works. So after a complete redesign, it was a little bit of a head scratcher this one. But check it out, we got liquid soul being buffered in this fluid tank. Alright, where do we even begin with this? It looks a little bit spaghetti, but look at how compact this thing is. Alright, so to start off with, I had to separate out these belts so that only one sort of vine was taken out at once. So both of those vines are then inserted into this basin where it gets mixed. We definitely should grab a bucket of this just to put a recipe filler on this. I don't think it actually needs it, but just to be safe. Anyways, we still have the blaze burner down there, which is being fed by this deployer to give it lava buckets. And so this is what actually gave me the most headache here, is how to actually feed this thing lava buckets, and then return the empty buckets back into this portal to be filled. So the full lava buckets, we just extended this belt along. That is then put on a depot, and then inserted via a belt funnel into the deployer. Then the deployer is left with an empty bucket after it right clicks the blaze burner. So to deal with that, we are now using actually a smart chute, which is filtered to only extract the deployer with an empty bucket. From the smart chute, we then go into a hopper below, then a depot, then a belt funnel, then a barrel. The only reason the barrel is here, by the way, is just so that it can actually turn around the corner. Since we have this extra awkward block space in here, it's a bit hard to see here, but basically right underneath this blaze burner is the barrel. Then we have another andesite funnel, which puts it on this belt. And we have a weighted ejector to bring it up 2 block spaces. And this is the empty bucket belt, which goes back into the nether portal to be refilled. I mean, it's pretty compact, right? Well, anyways, now that we have the liquid soul, I mean, I guess we can tick off these quests. We now have both the vines automated as well as liquid soul. Next step is to make the Infernal Mechanisms. So this takes the precision mechanisms, which we have buffered right here actually, and this also is going to take another sequenced assembly, with the first step being the liquid soul and the next 3 being lava. So since the liquid soul is on this side, I think we're going to do it from right to left, and we'll have the output drawer sitting right in line with this portal, I think. Alright, look at this. Infernal Mechanisms. So I hooked up the four spouts that we need, 3 for lava, 1 for liquid soul. We just have some pumps coming off of the buffer tanks here and onto this input belt. Pretty simple last step to assemble these things. But again, this does take the tier 2s, which we're just putting in here manually. Although when I went to grab these tier 2s, I noticed that we were actually out. So I had to add this temporary lava line here. And this feeds the melter, which melts iron ingots. And the iron is then used on these polished rose quartz to give us the electron tubes for these mechanisms. We used to just have a heater here and then manually feed this with logs. I decided since we were running the lava over here anyway, we just hook this up to the fuel tank. And the lava also goes over here to power this magmatic dynamo, which powers the charger and charges Certus quartz for us for destabilized redstone. So you might also have noticed that some of these things are spinning a bit faster. And that is because we now have a rotation speed controller under here. Let's see what the best way to get under this is. We are actually grabbing the extra stress units from the windmill bearing back there, and that runs it into the speed controller, which you can actually set the rotation on. You can go as high as you want, as long as you have enough stress units to handle this. But yeah, the rotation from this windmill is also combined with these water wheels, just to add the extra stress units on there, and that allows us to spin all the belts and mixers and pumps, everything a lot faster. I also actually added a similar thing on these water wheels. We have a rotation speed controller here, which allows us to get the pumps and things moving a lot faster on this setup as well. You may also remember we talked about these infinite saws and screwdrivers for this deploying step for the mechanisms. Well, we now have those. It just costs 5 gold, I think. And we also picked up the kinetic mechanism infinite durability saw here as well. The only thing we're still missing actually from precision mechanisms is the iron input. And this is something I'm not sure how exactly we're going to handle. Right now I'm just manually putting it on this depot to be inserted. Hello, Enderman. But what I'm thinking here is actually we rebuild this iron farm, which has 12,000 iron nuggets in it. What if we use this space on the end here? I mean, it's not like we're going to use it for anything else. Reuse this space to build a small iron farm. I don't think it has to be huge, which then crafts it down into ingots and then feeds the excess into the seared melter to make our precision mechanisms. Before we look at doing the iron though, we can actually use our Infernal Mechanisms to craft the Zinc Machines. This was our whole goal of the episode. We actually got there a lot quicker than what I expected. That also does finish off chapter 2. We get some nice goodies from this. And yeah, we have another chapter 100% completed. So on the overview here, I guess we're moving into chapter 3. Oh, this is a long one. Okay. Interesting, this looks like fun. So the goal of this one is to get the Invar machine. However, with our newly acquired Zinc Machines, we can actually get a couple of mega torches. This should help with the accidents around the base. So this torch, I believe, has a 32 block radius. We're going to stick one right at the front of our base here. Oh, that's the floor. We can't put it there. You know what, let's put it in this little wire room. We'll put another one 2 chunks over, right in the middle here, next to our andesite lift. And for now, the third one will just go down at the end of our base. One other thing we can actually get with these Zinc Machines is finally our drawer controller. I'm gonna make a few of these things. The thing is though, how do we even connect all these together? Maybe we put it underneath here. Maybe something like this. And then once we have applied energistics, we can put a storage bus on this. Although we will also have to put some trim around this, just to connect them all together. And also down at the bottom here as well. I think everything should be in range like this. Yeah, if we take out some redstone from the top drawers, we can fill it in the drawer controller here. Awesome. Alright, so at this point, I was going to go ahead and rebuild this iron farm over there. However, if we take a look at our chapter 3 quests here, we are actually going to need the crushing wheel coming up. And the crushing wheel is going to be used to make singularities, which is going to be a lot of fun. However, this also gives us the ability to, well, crush different things. It's similar to the millstone actually. I think it can do most of the same recipes. So obviously we'll have to do cobble to gravel. Except no matter how fast you spin these millstones, they will only ever do one at a time. Whereas the crushing wheel can do a full stack at a time. However, to craft this thing, well, we have to use some mechanical crafters for this. And 21 of them at that. So I'm glad we actually buffed up our precision mechanism production. Oh, we might need a few more than that actually. Although it does give us 2 at a time, doesn't it? Oh, 3 at a time. Alright. Well, there's 21 mechanical crafters. So these crushing wheels is something that we're not just going to have to make once, actually. We're going to have to crush the crushing wheels itself to make the singularities. Obviously, we want this fully automated, which means that we have to automate, once again, cobblestone and sticks. However, since we're getting sticks here from the tree farm, and we're going to move this iron farm, I think we should set up the crushing wheel automation in this space, which means tearing all this down. Yeah. Yeah, let's tear all of this out. Alright, we got some space to work with, and the first step, I think we're going to be working backwards once again. I think it's going to be easier to start with the mechanical crafters and then worry about the inputs. Alright, so let's imagine that we want to have crushing wheels coming out of this drawer, or being sent into this drawer to be buffered. The mechanical crafters have to be laid out, I think it's 3 blocks, like this, then a 3x3 in the middle. Think of these as like a square on the crafting grid. So it'll be something like this, where we have the sticks inserted into the middle and the cobblestone round the outside. And rather than trying to have a bunch of belts trying to insert into those crafters, I think this is a good point to use item pipes again. I think in this specific case we'll have to use the retrieval modules to be able to filter each of the crafters. We're gonna need a few more than that though. So we want an item pipe on each one. And the 5 in the middle have to be filtered for sticks, all the ones around the outside for cobblestone. Oh my goodness guys, it actually works. Oh, things just keep getting even more awesome in this mod. I mean, look at this. Crushing wheels. Oh, these mechanical crafters are so cool. I'm not sure exactly what happens when this belt is full. But yeah, I mean, look how awesome that is. And we have about 20 crushing wheels by now. So I still haven't figured out the inputs, but I decided actually to use the windmill here, since the windmill can generate so much more SU than the water wheels. And since we have access to the rotation speed controllers now, we can configure the speed for this as fast or as slow as we want, really. So I may end up moving that underground. I may end up sticking it underneath the floor, actually. But this crafter setup is definitely staying. We have to be able to see this. And once we have walls and a ceiling on this place, it'll look a bit better as well. But yeah, I mean, I can't stop looking at this thing crafting. It's the simple things. There's another one. Okay, anyways, yeah. But for the inputs for this, we need cobblestone and sticks. For the sticks, we can just extend the belt along here somewhere, as the stick drawer is right here. What do you think? You think this belt looks a little bit strange here? I'm not so sure, to be honest. Hello, Piglin. Anyway, as for the cobblestone generation, I was thinking that we actually use igneous extruders. This is a very simple way to generate any sort of cobblestone from water and lava. And I don't even think this thing actually takes any power, or at least it didn't used to in 1.12. We'll see if things have changed here. It's quite simple to craft now that we have our zinc machines. We just need to combine this with a piston. Give this thing a bucket of water. Not like that. Oh, it has to be an adjacent source. Oh, I see. Okay. You know what, this is going to look terrible though. I'm just now realising this. I think maybe what we have to do here is switch the sticks to the other side, so they're inputting closer to the side they're being input from, and we do the cobblestone on this side of the crafters. Which probably means rotating around this windmill as well. Yeah, doing create and making it look decent is very tricky. Oh, what have we done? No! No, the trees! We have a problem. Oh, and we're dead. So yeah, what about this totally flawless design, right? So I moved the stick belt over, and then the igneous extruder here needs moved. I mean, at least this lava source. I think we can probably put it on here. Hopefully that should be fine. But yeah, that produces us cobblestone at quite a fast rate as well, and we don't even have any augments in this thing. Then it's buffered in the drawer, and then into our crafters, which, oh, of course we still have to power these things. I think we'll do it from this side instead, it'll look a bit better. And we can just run shafts from this gearbox that's already here. Alright, that gets them powered again. Okay, one thing I'm curious though is this thing going to stop once there's nowhere for this to go? And it looks like the answer is yes. If this belt isn't moving, then the crushing wheel will stay there and it won't just spout onto the floor, which is exactly what we want actually. We just need a gearbox here and a gear shift to get this moving the correct way. Give this thing some power. Well, alright, apart from the fact that we burnt our trees down, we now have the crushing wheels automated. So I think for the crushing wheels, we'll put a downgrade on the drawer. I mean, not that it really matters, it's just some sticks and cobblestone. But this will limit the drawer to only hold one stack of these things. And I think we'll also put a downgrade on this stick drawer, since we want it all to buffer in that drawer there. I mean, again, not that it really matters, but yeah. Let's also replace the andesite funnel here to get the sticks moving again. And try to grow these trees again. I don't think it's going to grow like this. We may have to remove everything. Yep, I'll do that later on then. Well, with that little detour out of the way, we can actually tick off sticks here and cobblestone. And the crushing wheel, we have the crushing wheels automated. And that takes us on to the next part of chapter 3. However, before we do that, I'm going to rebuild our iron farm over here to ensure that we have precision mechanisms being auto-crafted here. And this time make use of the crushing wheels. Still have to learn how these things work. I think we need 2 of these things, and we send the items through the middle. But how exactly we do that, I'm still not entirely sure. Oh, this thing is so cool. Anyway, that's enough of that thing. Alright, so we now have a buffed up iron farm. So yeah, let's work backwards from this. So I decided to add some mechanical crafters, compress them down into ingots. And technically this step isn't actually necessary since we could just melt the nuggets in the melter. But yeah, those are buffered in a drawer and then inserted straight into the seared melter there. Although I've just now realised that this isn't actually outputting to anything. So we may have to add a little depot down there or something. Maybe a hopper below this. Just so that if this drawer ever ends up full, we don't end up with iron on the floor. But I did also learn with these crafters here that you can actually link these up. So if you right click with the wrench, you can make it all one crafting grid basically. Oh, looks like we lost an iron ingot there. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I think I'll have to move those crafters. And actually we don't need these item pipes if we were just to belt into one side and link all these things together. So yeah, I'll fix those ones as well. But as for rotational power here, I am converted. These windmills are super cool compared to the water wheels. Like, we can only get 320 SU, and this is the max from this amount of space. Whereas with just a little bit more space, we can get 3,500 SU, making good use of the rotational speed controllers to speed all this up, of course. But this still goes underground here somewhere. Yeah, there's the shaft right there. But yeah, we're still washing the gravel like we did before with the encased fans. I added quite a lot here. But I did have it to begin with the fans on top and the water in the block space of the belt. But then I realised that we couldn't actually waterlog this brass funnel. It was almost always where gravel would end up backed up here, and it wasn't being washed because I couldn't put a water source here, even though we could fit the encased fan above. So I had to move those to the side. That took some serious rewiring here. But yeah, we have some encased chain drives. I had to dodge this one, so this is just an andesite casing. And the reason for that is because we have the end of a belt here, which goes into the basin, and this belt is spinning the wrong way. So if we were to flip this chain drive, then the encased fan here would be sucking air in rather than blowing it out and washing the gravel. But yeah, the gravel goes along this belt, comes from this buffer drawer, which comes from the crushing wheels. Oh, we have a problem here actually. Why is it doing that? But I did actually have some trouble placing these crushing wheels. Basically, it's similar to the water wheels actually. I think they have to be placed in the specific orientation, and you also have to spin them different ways. But I think this actually needs a redesign again. We can't have gravel spilling out like this. Alright, so after several rebuilds, I moved some things around and got this working. The rate of gravel here seems pretty good actually. I think we're going to be bottlenecked by our encased fans, to be honest. I managed to get these spinning at 1280 SU. And I also moved them so that they are horizontal rather than vertical. But yeah, I also moved these mechanical crafters forward one block so that it inputs straight into the belt. Alright, so from what I can see actually, I think we have fully automated these precision mechanisms now. Although I did realise that we are actually missing sand automation here for the kinetic mechanisms. Although now that we have the crushing wheels, we can make sand from gravel. So the sand we're using to bulk wash into clay and then make an algal blend. This is something we done, I think, episode maybe 2 or 3. But we used to be relying on, in fact we still are relying on these strainers, and we have no way to fill the strainers themselves. So I think probably between episodes I'll add a little contraption over this side with some crushing wheels to automatically produce sand, and then we have to feed it into this input belt right here. Oh, you know what? In fact, sand is actually the next contraption we have to automate here, so we might as well go all out with this, with the sand production that is. Oh, and also I had to add even more sails to this thing. It's getting a little bit ridiculous. I think maybe we should look into some sort of a centralized power system, at least for some of these later contraptions. But I think all that is something we'll save for next episode. I'm going to do some more cleanup around here. I think I might also move this igneous extruder again. There's no need for it to be this high anymore since we moved the crushing wheels. But yeah, next episode will be the start of, I guess we've already started chapter 3. We're going to continue chapter 3. We'll see how far exactly we can get with this. Still a lot more building here to do as well. I don't know when I'm going to find the time to do all this, but yeah, I guess I'll just chip away at it between episodes. But anyways, I want to thank you all again for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for some more Create Above and Beyond.